black mother is dragged away by cops at the pool right in front of her little boy. The woman screams. The boy cries, but they wouldn't listen. A nosy neighbor had called 911, saying they were trespassing and a threat. Unaware they just harassed the mayor's family. What happens next will leave Yao speechless. It was a bright Saturday morning in the quiet neighborhood of Ocala Estates, just outside Atlanta, Georgia. Among fee families enjoying the day was Janelle Cross, a confident, hard-working black woman in her mid-30s. She wore a royal blue one-piece swimsuit and kept her natural curls short and neat. With her was her 6-year-old son, Zion, a waist-higher favorite. Place to relax every weekend. Janelle wasn't just any resident in Ocala. She was the newly elected HOA president. And more than that, she was also the wife of City's mayor, Mark Cross. But she didn't walk around bragging about it. She believed in community, in fairness, in doing what's right. As Zion played, Janelle sat at the edge of the pool, watching him with a soft smile and a careful eye. A few chairs down, wearing oversized sunglasses and sipping an ice drink with too much lemon, sat Dorothy Langford, a retired teacher in her late 60s, known by many in the neighborhood's plea as Miss Dot. But behind her polite wave and her pink striped pajamas, Mista had a reputation, a Longoni, especially when it came to new families who didn't fit in with her view off Ocala. And today, her attention was locked on Janelle and Zion like a hawk. "He's being too loud," she muttered under her breath. Mutt lowered her sunglasses and squinted. Zion was lawing and splashing like any other child, but her fingers were already dealing. 911. Hello. Yes. This is Dorothy Langford from Ocala. There's a woman and a child here. Loud, disruptive. I don't think they belong. I think they're trespassing. Yes, the little boy is being aggressive and ghetto. Please send someone right away. Janelle had no idea the call had even been made. She just reached down and handed Zion a juice pouch from her bag when 2 Ocala Police Department cruisers pulled up outside the pool gate within minutes. Siren silent but presence loud. 2 white officers stepped through the pool gate. Officer Blake Ryman and Officer Scott Beamer. Both were young, fit, tense. Dorothy met him halfway, finger pointed, voice firm. There they are, she snapped. That woman and the boy. I don't think they live here. They've been loud, making a mess. You might want to check if they belong. The officers looked over at Janelle. She looked back confused but calm. Ma'am, we got a report about a disturbance. We're going to need to ask you some questions, Officer Ryman said. Janelle stood up slowly. I'm sorry? A disturbance? This is my community. What's going on? Zion grabbed her hand. He could sense something was wrong. The joy in his eyes faded into worry. Officer Beamer stepped closer. We've been told you may not have access to this pool. Do you live here? Janelle blinked. Yes, I live in house 48C. You can check. My name is Janelle Cross. I'm actually we'll need you to come with us and verify that. Officer Ryman interrupted. Please don't resist. Before she could even grab a towel, both officers moved in. One held her arm. The other tried to gently move Zion away. Mommy, Zion shouted. Don't touch my son. Janelle snapped, her voice cracking. You're making a mistake. Let go of me. Other pool-goers began to notice. Phones came out. Whispers turned to gasps. Is that Janelle? Isn't she the HOA lady? Why are they arresting her? She lives here. Dorothy stood smug, arms crossed, watching it all unfold like it was some kind of performance. This was the moment everything changed. One of the neighbors, a middle-aged Hispanic man amid Carlos Mendez, walked over quickly. Hey, officers, I know this woman. That's Janelle Cross. She's the HOA president, and she lives right over there. She owns the property. The officers froze. Wait, Cross as in Mayor Cross? Officer Ryman asked. Yes, Carla said. That's his wife. This is their neighborhood. Raymond turned pale. Beamer's grip loosened instantly. Janelle stepped back, breathing hard, one arm around Zion. I told you, she said quietly but firmly. Now get your hands off me. Officer Ryman scrambled. Mays single quotes am. We didn't know. We were just responding to a call. Oh, I believe you, Janelle said, her eyes locked on Dorothy. But you should have listened to me first. Dorothy took a few steps back, looking suddenly unsure. Her confidence cracked. Ma'am, Officer Beamer said, turning to her, we'll need you to stay right here. We'll be filing a full incident report. W what? I was just trying to protect the neighborhood, she said. No, Janelle replied. You. We're trying to control it, and your time doing that is over. Carlos added. She's done this before. You should talk to the Ramirez family. And then Gwen's, she's harassed them too. Always has something to say about how loud they are or how they don't follow the rules. Another neighbor, a white woman named Tracy Ellison, chimed in. She called the police on my niece last month. Same excuse. Said she didn't look like she belonged here. The officer stared at Dorothy now with a very different expression. Janelle looked at him, holding her son close. I want her reported, investigated. And I want a full apology, she said. This wasn't just a mistake. It was racial profiling, and you won't stay silent. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. The officers nodded, finally understanding the storm they had stepped into. As Janelle wrapped a towel around Zion, she looked back. At the pool, something in Oak Hollow had changed forever. But the full truth, the full storm was just beginning. That night, the Cross household was quiet but heavy. Janelle sat at the edge of her bed, still in disbelief at how her day had unfolded. Zion was asleep beside her, clinging to her arm, even in his dreams. Mark Cross, the mayor of Riverview, stood near the window, jaw clenched. She put her hands on my wife, he asked again. Yes, Janelle replied softly. And called our son ghetto. Mark turned toward her. That won't stand. He picked up the phone, made a few calls, and by sunrise, the story had already begun spreading through the community and beyond. The footage recorded by several neighbors had gone viral overnight. Poolside profiling was trending, and people were furious. At Oak Hollow's clubhouse that same morning, a special HOA emergency meeting was called, something that hadn't happened in over a decade. Residents packed the space. Some stood, some filmed, some just came to openly speak. At the front stood Janelle, no longer in a swimsuit, but in a sharp navy blazer, her hair pulled back and eyes locked on Dorothy Langford, who sat stiffly at the convertible. I want to begin, Janelle said, by making one thing very clear. This isn't just about me or my son. This is about a pattern. She pulled out a folder and opened it. In the last 12 months, we've had 6 complaints filed by residents, all people of color, regarding harassment at the pool, the gym, and the clubhouse. 5 of those complaints point back to the same person, Miss Dorothy Langford. Gasped Seachode in the room. Janelle stepped aside as Mr. Ramirez, a quiet father of 3, stepped forward. She told my daughter her music was foreign. Said she shouldn't wear a hijab near the pool. Next came Vanessa Gwynn, voice shaking. She asked if I was the cleaning lady. I was holding my baby. Then Tracy Ellison, the white woman from earlier, stood. It's not just race, it's power. She tried to scare people into silence, but were done being quiet. Dorothy stood up, trembling with rage. This is ridiculous. I've lived here 22 years. I built this community. I know what's best for it. No, Miss Langford, Janelle said calmly. You built fear, and fear has no place here. Mark Cross entered the room just then. Not as the mayor, but as a husband. I've spoken with the Polisechev, he announced. An internal investigation is underway. The officers who wrongfully detained Janelle are being reviewed for misconduct. And as for Miss Langford, he turned to her. You filed a false police report, initiated racially motivated harassment, and violated HOA codes. The board has voted unanimously. You are being fined the maximum allowed $15,000 and effective immediately. He paused. You are banned from all home amenities and you have 30 days to vacate your home. The community is evicting you. The room erupted in murmurs. Some clapped, some gasped. Dorothy's face turned red as she stood speechless. You can't do this, Tom. I am this neighborhood. No, Janelle said. You were, but not anymore. 12 weeks later, Dorothy's house was up for sale. She moved out without saying a word. Oak Hollow became quieter, but stronger. Janelle remained HOA president and used her platform to bring in inclusive programs, safe spaces for youth, and a new diversity board. Families who once stayed in the background began to show up more, speak more, live more. Zion still played by the pool, but now with more friends, louder laughs, and without fear. One Saturday afternoon, as Janelle sat watching him swim, little Elijah Ramirez ran up and said, Miss Janelle, I want to be HOA president one day too, Shesmold. You will, she said. And no one will ever tell you that you don't belong. If you felt this story in your heart, comment below what moment hit you hardest. And share this video because someone else might need to hear this too. Subscribe for more powerful stories every week. Because when the truth shows up, silence isn't an option.